So what are the most important preference settings to have toggled on or off when you start using Quicken? If you want the answer to that compelling question, stick with me here. Joe Santo, your friendly neighborhood personal finance guru. I'm going to talk a little bit about the preferences here in Quicken Classic for Windows, and this video is very specific to that version because many of these preferences only exist in that version. So anyway, let's get right into it. Okay, here, so I got Quicken Classic for Windows open. I'm trying to be very deliberate in talking about the versions of Quicken because there's always a lot of confusion about that. Quicken has so many different versions and variations. But this is Classic for Windows, and it has the most preferences and settings options. It's the oldest version they offer, and it's in comparison to Quicken Classic for Mac, and now also what I call the Quicken fully web-based version, which there's Simplify Home and Business, and there's Simplify and Simplify Home and Business. There's Simplify and Simplify Home and Business. Okay, so here we go. Let's just get into it. Now, not every setting in here matters all that much. Some are just, visual and so on. I'm just going to go over the ones that are important to look at. So, let's see here. So, backup is something we want to set right away. So, automatic backups is what I do. And you want to set it to being backing up after running Quicken for one time. And then it gives you an option of how many backup copies do you want to save before it starts purging some. I set that as 5. And what this means is backing up after running Quicken once, that means you open it and you close it, and that creates a backup of your database file. The closing part is important because a lot of people just leave Quicken open, and if you never close it, that backup isn't happening. Now, just FYI, you can also do a manual backup at any time by going to the File menu up here, but this automatic one will be very helpful. And there is this online backup version. You can read about that. I don't use it. I don't think it's necessary to pay extra for that. I'm not going to go over it. Okay, Web Connect. These two options are when when you're connecting to your bank, it's asking you, do you want to save a file of that data? You don't really need to do that, but you definitely want to keep Quicken open after Web Connect is complete. Now, some of these options are going to be on by default, some are not, but I'm pointing out ones that are worth just double checking. Okay, let's see. Next one is register here. This is actually not that important, but I always have a problem with, out of the box, this is checked. It says show memo before category in your register. And I don't like that, but for some reason they give you this random option to flip them. So I keep this off because I think just workflow-wise, it's better. I also have gray reconciled transactions. This is not like mission critical, but when you reconcile your accounts in your register, the transactions go gray, which kind of helps you visually see what's been reconciled and what hasn't. Okay, data entry and quick fill. There are some important ones in here. Many of these at this top list don't matter that much. They're kind of like little tweaks, but this one's important right here. Offer to update past transactions when a category is changed. So what this means is you're in your register, you change the category of a common transaction, and it'll say, hey, do you want me to, I see you're changing this category. Do you want me to go backwards in the register and change everything that says, I don't know, Ralph's Supermarket to groceries? That can save you a lot of time. Of course, you don't always want to say yes. I would say often, probably 90% of the time you'd say yes, but there is a secondary option that says only when updating uncategorized transactions. I turn this off because oftentimes if you are changing the category of something, you're making a decision that I want this not to be categorized the way I had it. I want it to be this other category. I've sort of changed my thinking about it. And if you have this checked on, it won't go backwards in time and recategorize. So that's an important one. Automatically memorize new payees. That kind of, I feel like in a sense that happens whether you have it checked on or off. But remove payees not used after 14 months. You could change this to like 6 months if you want to keep the size of the database file low. Most users don't even know there's a database file, let alone how big it is. So you could probably just leave this at 14 months. But for some of you that are a little bit more technical or whatever, that's what this would do. It would keep your file size a little lower perhaps, but probably not even by much. Okay, downloaded transactions. So this one's important. We, over here, this option, automatically add to banking registers. This one's probably one of the most important ones. And usually it's on by default. I like to have it off. What that does is when you download transactions, it puts them in what I often refer to as this holding tank space that pops up under your register and allows you to look at the transactions before they populate into your register. And just to add a little color to what that means, like the transactions are not part of the database, meaning they're not searchable, they don't show up in reports until they're in the register. But this holding tank, again, gives you this opportunity to preview them and, I don't know, make any decision about possibly deleting one or something, or seeing if there's anything wrong. Most of the time there isn't, but if you have this checked, they're just going to download and populate your register automatically. And I just don't like that. I don't like lots of stuff piling in the register. So I think especially at the beginning when you're learning Quicken, you want to have this off. You also want to have it off for this. This is the same thing, but for the investment accounts. You do want to have automatically categorized transactions because you want Quicken to, over time, remember what you've done and replicate it. Now, I often say about that, Quicken gets it right most of the time, maybe 80-90% of the time. Doesn't always get it right, so unfortunately, you can't just set it and forget it. But that's true with QuickBooks, but that's true with pretty much everything so far because, as much as we have AI and all that, there's a lot of real life variables in your finances, and Quicken can't, nor can anything else, know your exact scenario of them. But you can train it to know more and then automatically do stuff. So you probably want to have that on. Maybe at the beginning you could have it off just so you don't get confused and everything comes in uncategorized and you can sort of categorize it manually for a while. Okay, so apply Quicken suggested name to payee. Now, this is by default on. I turn it off. However, honestly, I'm not even sure turning off turns off the system. I turn this off, and what this means is Quicken will rename transactions on its own accord. I assume it has some database of information, or I don't know how it makes this determination, but it doesn't always rename it in a good way. You can, of course, go rename it over that. If you turn this off, it shouldn't rename the transaction. And to be clear, what I mean is when you download a transaction, there is data that comes through the transaction from the bank, okay? And it's called a downloaded info or something like that. I think in Mac it's called downloaded payee, and then in Windows it's called downloaded info. And it uses that to say, hey, I see this kind of long gobbledygook thing. I'm going to rename it to something shorter. If you turn this off, this, in theory, makes it so only you can change the name, which can be helpful. So I would try to turn that off, but you may find that it reduces the amount of time Quicken does it on its own, but it probably won't eradicate it. Okay, this capitalizing doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Use my existing renaming rules. So to that same point of renaming, Quicken has its own set of rules it will follow, and they can't be edited or anything like that. But as you rename things, you can have Quicken create a renaming rule based on your actions. So the training Quicken that I mentioned is you say, hey, this transaction, you know, Pavilion store number, blah, 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 rename to Pavilions, and then categorize it as groceries. That's sort of the training that's going on. So if you have renaming rules, you want Quicken to be using them. So you want that checked on. Now, this option you also want checked on, automatically create rules when I rename payees. This is going to make Quicken, every time you change a downloaded payee info to your own payee name, it's going to remember that as a renaming rule, which is going to save in this box here. I don't know why that unchecked those. But you do want to have let me review and confirm the automatically created rules, because if you make a mistake or whatever, or you'll see that a dialog box pops up and gives you some additional options to dial in the renaming, you want to have access to that extra those extra options. So you want to have that checked also. So we're going to move on from there. Pending transactions, I have a video on that. You can leave it off for now, but go watch that video. Transfer detection. This is super important. A lot of people, one of their biggest issues is learning how transfers work in Quicken, and also when you don't understand how transfers work, it can create some problems for you. I have a video on that, of course, too. But for this option, we're going to say scan downloaded transactions for possible transfers, but definitely have confirm possible transfers before entering the register, meaning it's going to give you the option to confirm a transfer that Quicken sees possibly as something it can do to help you or do for you. So can't really get into like the details of that. It's too long of a thing, but those two options you want to have on just like that. Nothing really that important in here. Mobile and web, I have a video on what mobile and web is. I would leave it off for now until you go watch the video. It'll save you some time when you're working. And early access is, it'll give you some options to features that it's putting out for improvements. You could probably put that off. So those are some of the important preferences that ideally you will set before you start working with Quicken, or early on, and it'll save you some grief. Obviously, I can't explain in this video what all those preferences do in great detail and why you have them on or off. I probably have a video on all of that stuff somewhere in my YouTube channel, but at least you know kind of what to pay attention to. And I think by being aware of what's important while you're learning Quicken and while you're doing your thing, probably little light bulbs are going to go off and be like, oh, I see why Joe now told me to put it on that way or that way. So hopefully that will help you and get you off to a good start with Quicken. I will see you in the next video. Bye.